Can you talk to me about what we've seen up until this point? I was told it was about 120 undocumented foreign nationals and some ammunition found.
No, it's quite a lot of them. You are right with the number, over 100 people that we found here undocumented. But it's different buildings. It's not one building. It's not exactly where we're standing. There's a couple of buildings that we've been busy with in town. There's been almost over 4 million rand worth of fake US dollar notes that have been found as well. And together with drugs, I think there's some dealings that are taking place here. There's a lot of other illicit goods that we found in this place, which will also include the buildings that are illegally occupied, illegal connection of electricity and water. Yeah. And as you can see, some of the buildings that are standing next to it, the municipality bills that are not being paid, which are owed to the city, and amongst the problems that you're having this year. So it's basically become the den of criminals in these buildings. That's why we're trying by all means to, from time to time, we raid these buildings.
And I will be engaging with the other officials as well on this other point, but I want to get you to pick your brain on this. I mean, it almost seems like it's an open secret. When we talk about Durban and we talk about this particular area, we talk about drugs, it's everyone knows. So I think the question to be asked is, if everyone knows, how does the problem still persist?
Yeah, well, the problem is going to persist, simple because, to start with, we've got the biggest harbor. In this harbor, I'm sure we've seen in the past, quite a number of drugs that we found from the containers. We are not searching all the containers. We wish we can search every single container that comes in. So there might be 1 or 2 of them that are finding its way into the city. Hence, we have this quite number of drugs that have been found when we're busy operations. And you see the behavior of the youth also out there as they consume a lot of these drugs. So that's part of the problem that we have. I mean, the coastline in this province is quite long, and there's a lot of ships as we talk. There's at least no more than 10 that are on anchor outside there. Anything can happen in those ships there. So our prevention strategy is to try and protect whatever comes through the coast coming to our province, to try and do a lot of policing in that area. There's challenges, but if we can win that side, we believe that we can reduce quite a number of the drugs that we find in our system.
What you just saw there is more proof that General Mkhwanazi, the Commissioner of KZN SAPS, should be the National Commissioner of SAPS. If that is not enough proof so far, I don't know what would needed for him to do more so that he can be promoted. But I think that he's soon to be promoted. We might see it in the next 5 years or even less. And if you don't see it in the next 5 years, that means that the powers that be actually don't want him there at the top, because him being there at the top means that he will be doing way more, and then in him doing way more, it exposes a lot more corruption. Because you see, in Durban CBD, it is already known, it's like similar to Johannesburg CBD or even Cape Town, where there is a high rate of crime. This comes from extortion, violent crimes, drug trafficking, and a lot of illegal foreigners. As you saw that they arrested 153 illegal foreigners from some hijacked buildings, some of which didn't have power, didn't have water supplied to those buildings. And again, he is involved himself in the ground, actually speaking with the media. And I think him speaking with the media is also smart if he's looking for a promotion. And with the way that he speaks and addresses the media, I suspect that this guy might actually want to be a National Commissioner of Police, because he wants to do more as a crime fighter. This guy hates crimes and he loves this country. And he is proving it in the work that he's doing. He's on the ground. I don't think I've seen other commissioners of other provinces being so involved in crime fighting and speaking to the media the way he does. And I think because of that, he is needed to be the leader of all the commissioners so that they can all follow under his footsteps, you know. And somebody may ask, if he becomes the National Commissioner of Police, who is to replace him as the KZN police commissioner? And I think this guy is the one.
Good morning, Colonel. Can you give us a bit of a background of what's happening behind you?
We have got an integrated operation which started early this morning around 4 o'clock. We are targeting hijacked buildings to get illegal foreigners. We are looking for firearms because our province has been experiencing high volumes of crime where the firearms were used. We are pleased that so far we have recovered ammunition. We are still searching. We believe that we will find firearms, because where there are ammunition, there could be firearms. We have arrested over 153 illegal foreigners so far, and there are buildings that have been disconnected of water and electricity. And as things stand, also recovered liquor which was sold illegally right in the CBD. So we believe that as we are still continuing with the operation, we'll attain more and more of this.
Can you give us a breakdown of the firearms and the types of ammunition that was found?
The ammunition we found so far, got 81 rounds of .38 special, and for .22 we've got 35 so far. We are still searching. We are confident that we'll get firearms, because we are looking mostly for firearms and other criminals.
It's not my first time seeing the video of this guy, and he has made I'll actually find his name and leave it in the video so that we can all know his name, because he is also highly involved. We see him in many videos. In the previous police shootouts, he also spoke where they spoke about some of the police officers who were injured in shootouts. So I think because this guy is under the leadership of Mkhwanazi, he may want to follow in the footsteps of this guy and also be respected and highly regarded by other South Africans by following in the footsteps of Commissioner Mkhwanazi. And Commissioner Mkhwanazi is doing such a great job because he's not only fighting against illegal foreigners, which is something that we may hear other Africans reporting that South Africa again is against foreigners, but he has proven himself, because when he was fighting crime with the shootouts that were happening, these were mostly black men that are South African. And as you have seen, there's a video where he speaks about the fact that we have a problem with black men in South Africa because the rate of crime and violent crimes in South Africa is perpetrated by black men.
The problem we have, you forgive me on this, but this is not me talking, these are the stats. We have a problem with the black men in South Africa. We have a serious problem. What you see here, we put the colors, the basis of perpetrators that we've arrested. All the green, as you can see, almost everything is green here, which means almost everything is black that is committing crime. Out of total of 60,000 cases, criminals that we arrested between the age of 16 and 25 years old, 16 and 25 years old, we arrested 60,000 criminals in this past financial year, in this period of 5 years, not in financial year, this 5-year period that we are counting. Out of this number, 57,691 of them were black men. Out of 60,000, 57,000 of them are black men that we've arrested between the age of 16 and 25.
This has nothing to do with being racial or anything, because I imagine if he was a white commissioner, they would say, nah, this guy is just racist, because South Africans love this race card and pulling it. So I love the fact that it is him who is exposing this. And even more so, he's not just fighting small petty crimes, he's fighting real crimes, because Dean McPherson was giving him credit for arresting the construction mafia in KZN who want to stop the construction that needs to happen under the ministry that Dean McPherson is actually leading, as you can see in this video.
Now, in other news, Public Works Minister Dean McPherson has commended KwaZulu-Natal police for the arrest of construction mafia suspects. 5 suspects are believed to have tried to disturb work at a site in Mkhwanazi. They appeared before the Camperdown Magistrates Court today and have been remanded in custody.
I welcome and commend the South African Police Service under the leadership of the Provincial Commissioner, General Mkhwanazi, for the work that they have done in arresting 5 people linked to the construction mafia. I was there at the Camperdown Court and there was a lot of toing and froing, and eventually the SAPs and the prosecutors were able to remand these 5 people in custody for further investigation. I've also been informed this morning by the Provincial Commissioner that another person was arrested in the Point area for trying to intimidate construction workers within the Point area. So definitely government's reaction and response to the mafia is being ramped up, and we should welcome that and we commend it. And I think that is an indication that the government of national unity will no longer tolerate, accept or negotiate with crooks and gangsters who seek to hold the state hostage or extort money from us.
So I actually don't want to make this a very long video. I'm going to end it just now, but with the little bit of reporting that we see in the media, mainstream and some people talking about him online, we can clearly see that there is work that is being done and this guy is putting in the work that has to be put in by other commissioners in other provinces. But until then, we can only admire him and hope for all the other commissioners of all the other provinces to follow also in his footsteps, because he's definitely outshining them. And the cherry on top is at the moment on Piet Groenewald, and we need also a very brave Minister of Justice who will ensure that when the crime is being fought on the ground, then in the courts it's also being fought properly, and then in the correctional services people are being punished accordingly to the crimes that they are doing. So I think I may be done with making videos about General Mkhwanazi, but I needed to make this one to show that this is proof that this guy has to be right at the top of all the commissioners in the country. And yeah, let me know what you think. Let's have a conversation. I will see you in the next video. Salute.